Kia ora, Internet!
Hello and welcome
to our latest episode. So as we promised last time, we are back to review some of the winners and the finalists for the Pavs 2021.
As you can hear by the dead timbre of my voice, I have a cold, so I'm going to let James do most of the talking on this episode.
Yeah, I'm just about finished with my sickness. Claire's just started with hers, so I'm going to get to most of the talking.
It's true what they say about mothers. You're not allowed to get sick until everyone else is well again.
Yeah. Well, on that note, let's begin.
Yeah, alright, so we're going to start off with the 4 winners that we played. And the first one of those is Best Friend Forever, which won the Diverse Delight for excellence in representation, and it is by Starcolt. James, you played Best Friend Forever on our stream, and, well...
I did.
Needless to say, you loved it.
I have a problem with this game.
Oh, no.
The problem is that it didn't win more awards, because I loved it so much. So, Best Friend Forever is a dating simulator. So actually, I've got a problem with this game.
Oh no.
It's that it didn't win more awards.
Right.
Because I really liked Best Friend Forever.
Yeah.
So Best Friend Forever is a dating sim where you are dating both a person who is wonderfully diverse. One of the goals that the studio said that they had was to make all sorts of different body types and people seem attractive and beautiful in their own way. And it really succeeds. So there's a range of people, 6 people.
That you've met at least. I don't know. Maybe there's more.
6 people that I've met. I think it's just those 6.
Okay.
Some of whom I thought were amazingly attractive. Some of whom I went, about. Yeah. But then, that's sort of what you want. You want a range of people. But more importantly, you also have a range of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the real relationship that you're building in this game is with your pet dog.
Aww.
Which is just adorable. And so if you are any sort of animal lover, then this game is for you. Everybody has a dog in this town. All your love interests have their own dogs. You get to choose which dog you want. The major NPCs are defined by their relation to animals as well. There's a sort of strange animal guru lady, as well as the vet people who are major supporting characters as well. And it just makes for a really nice, uplifting story. Gameplay is similar to a lot of life sim games.
Dating sims, yeah.
And dating sims, you're deciding what it is that you want to do every week. And so that's activities for your dog to do, activities for you to do, and then at the end of the week, you have to give your dog a bath and feed it some food and look after its hygiene, which is just lovely. One problem I've seen with visual novels in the past is you can get some where you're just clicking through walls of text, and there's very few gameable moments in them. But because you've got your dog is always doing things. And so you'll just be having a romantic conversation and the game will be discussing how you're gazing into someone's eyes and then suddenly your dog does a poop. And you've got to pick it up and put it in the bin. Fast!
Yeah.
And so these little mini-game elements really, firstly, they really make it feel like you got a dog. Yeah. But it also just breaks up things and means that you're constantly interacting with the game, which is lovely. Yeah.
The next game we're going to talk about is the Student Slice winner, which is Frame of Mind by Sample Text Studios. I loved this game, and you can play it within like half an hour. So with this one, I actually played it off of the stream because I wanted to check. I did a pre-check that all of the games I downloaded worked on stream a few days before we actually streamed. And I just got so hooked in by this one that I just played it to the end. Because I was like, this is a student game. Surely it's not going to go on, for hours and hours. It was only half an hour. But it was a half hour full of wonder. Basically, if you want to feel like Alice in Wonderland, I would kind of say it's really hard to describe, except that it's
a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle game. There's only 2 colours in the entire game, so it sort of mucks with your perception. And
that was something that I found off-putting.
Well, I was going to say, like,
that sort of
watching it while you were playing, I actually had to stop because I started to feel motion sickness. So while I was playing it myself, I didn't feel that. But I can't watch anyone else play this because it actually makes me feel sick. Because while you're the player, you're going to be looking up, looking down, looking round and round, trying to figure out, what am I not seeing? What do I have to change my perspective to see? Now, when
And the game is messing with your senses.
Yeah. When you are the player, you know already that you're going to turn left or turn right or up or down. But when you're a spectator, you don't know that. And so, yeah, I got sick watching you really quickly. But yeah, while I was playing it, loved it. So I think that it's a lovely experience for people to probably do solo. I don't know how it came across on the stream, and you were quite sick at the time, so...
I enjoyed the idea, I enjoyed the puzzles, but the way in which it was messing with my vision was just like constantly niggling at me, which is the point.
Right, yeah.
But it meant that when I got to puzzles that I couldn't complete, because my perception was getting in the way, not because I didn't know what to do, but just because I was finding it hard to make the things I needed to have happen, because everything was only two colours, and I was losing track of what was what and where was up and where was down, and I did find it a little frustrating at times. Yeah,
I can imagine, with the visual things, and I guess it depends on what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but I can definitely see how you didn't enjoy it. But yeah, given that it's a student game, super impressed, right?
Yeah, really cool.
So, the next game we're going to talk about is, oh my goodness, how many categories did this one win? Umurangi Generation by ORIGAME Digital, or is it ORIGAME? I don't know. Anyway, they won the Slice of Heaven Grand Prize. They won the Decorative Piece for Excellence in Visual Art. And they won the Composed segment for Excellence in Audio. So, Umurangi Generation is... I love this game.
I thought it was really cool.
It's really funny that this came to my attention at the same time as, like, Pokemon Snap. So you were playing Pokemon Snap, doing your camera stuff, and I was playing Umurangi Generation, and that was my camera thing. And this is way more... Oh, gosh. I mean, how do you say this? Okay,
I actually think that Umurangi Generation is a more clever photography game than Pokemon Snap.
The thing I appreciate about it is that you are fully in control of the 3D world, as opposed to Pokemon Snap. You're on tracks. You're literally on rails.
Now, I loved Pokemon Snap because it was sort of peaceful and relaxing, and you could just sort of relax and just go on your rails. But Umurangi Generation gives you challenges, and you've got to find the right vantage points, you've got to find the right objects, you've got to line things up. Sometimes it'll be very obvious what you've got to take a photo of, but not how to do it.
You've got to change lenses sometimes.
There's a more nuanced look at how photography works with the lenses and the focus.
It's way more of a game for photography nerds than Pokemon Snap is.
Yeah. But the other thing I thought was much more clever is both of them are games that want you to pay attention to the little things.
Yeah.
But in Pokemon Snap, you're paying attention to little things so you can find a hidden Pokemon, you can see a new behaviour. Whereas in this one, the entire plot of the game is hidden subtextually in the things that you will see as you are going around.
Yeah.
And so the game doesn't need to give you a huge introduction about what's happened, what's going on, what the premise is, what the themes are. It just slips all of it in naturally while you're playing.
That is a really good point, because actually I remember when you started up Pokemon Snap, when we first got it, I complained within like 5 minutes of like, why are we still in the exposition and not taking photos yet? Whereas Umurangi Generation, bang, you're taking photos. Like, you might choose to do the tutorial. You probably should if you don't know the controls. But other than that, like, yeah, bang, you're in there straight away. We haven't even talked about, like, you're in post-apocalyptic Tauranga.
So, yeah, the next thing I was going to say was, it's post-apocalyptic Tauranga.
And, like, you're taking pictures of your mates and graffiti and, like, neon signs, and it's so
I remember
cool.
Another reason why this game got commended was for its portrayal of Māori culture, which is really cool. So a lot of Māori games focus on sort of traditional culture, whereas this one is urban youth.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing, it doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it's all just there subtly, subtextually. Really clever game. Oh, also it sounds lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the other award that it won.
I mean, exactly, yeah. It looks great and it sounds great and it's so unique. And basically we're only comparing it to Pokemon Snap because 2 photography games
that
came
we
out
played
in the same
both
time.
at once.
Yeah,
Pokemon Snap is bigger, more beautiful because it had billions of dollars behind it and so on. But the fact that Umurangi Generation is standing pretty favourably in comparison with it is a sign of just how good this game was. It was a worthy winner of the top prize.
Super impressive.
Yeah, the more I've thought about that game ever since you played it, the more I've gone, oh no, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. I did hear someone complain that it can be hard to watch for people with vision issues. So I don't know if I could watch someone playing it. I've only actually played it. I haven't watched you play it.
That's true.
And also sometimes the controls can be a little bit sticky with the jumping and stuff. But other than that, I love it.
Yeah.
And moving on to the final winner that we played just this week. The guest plate, which is for Australian developers, the winner of that one was Video World by Things for Humans. Now, I think you'd gone to bed already by this point.
I saw a little bit of it,
yeah,
but I was crashing by the time you got up to this, so this is your one to talk about.
This one was really cool. It gave me a lot of Costume Quest vibes, and I really appreciated how, because it was getting late at night, it was only half an hour long, so I got to have the whole story. It's pretty cool, and it basically just makes me want to see more from this developer, basically. It's a series of rhythm challenges set within a very small story in a video store where you start talking to, like, a ghost occupying a gourd. And
cute.
Yeah. And so you've got these original songs as part of the game, and yeah, very cool.
From the little bit of it that I saw, it looked very fun, very funny. It
was
looked
extremely
cool.
funny. I was
It
non-stop
sounded
cracking up.
cool.
The sound was real good. Yeah. So yeah, I want to see more things by Things for Humans because they've proved that they are pretty
They
creative.
make good things for humans.
They do, yeah. So, yeah. We wanted to mention the other category winners, even though we didn't play them in our stream, and for various reasons. So, there were 2 people who won awards as opposed to video games winning awards, and so I thought I'd mention those. The Unsung Hero, or Te Maunga Kai Kapua Taina Award, went to Ian Shepherd. And the Industry Pillar Award, or Te Maunga Kai Kapua Tuakana Award, went to Tim Ponting. So well done to those guys. The other games that won awards for excellence in accessibility and excellence in design. Trigger Witch by Rainbite, which has not been released yet. So
we weren't able to get anything to play.
Yeah, but as soon as I can play it, I want to play it.
It looks cool. The aesthetic is old school Zelda with machine guns, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, that's a good way of putting it. Just from the trailers we've seen. The Tactile Taste Award for Excellence in Physical Games went to Galilean Moons by Fantasy Workhouse.
I've been hearing a bit of hype about that. And so we might see if we can get ourselves a copy at some point in the future.
Yeah, cool.
But right at the moment, we've got quite a few board games on our pile.
Oh, yeah. And the Poetic Serving for Excellence in Narrative was taken by Skyview Games. Oh, who's that? That's us. Oh, yes. Hello.
It feels a bit unfair to be reviewing our own game on this one.
Yeah.
But I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, so thank you to the judges and the jury and everyone.
And thank you to the other members of our team who came and
Yes.
showed up and supported us on the night. It was very nice, and it was lovely to see you.
And also to those who couldn't make it for being, overseas or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other ones. There were a few ones that we couldn't get our hands on for various reasons, and I'll just list them off now. Denari by Astronaut Diaries, that one I believe is not out yet. Floating Floors by Gumboot Games Limited, that is a physical game, so we didn't have a copy of that. We did that one. Māoringo by Trent Archer. Now I really wanted to play this, and it looked like an educational mobile phone game where you could learn Te Reo Māori.
Oh, that one, yes. I remember seeing a playable demo of that at the Pavs.
But I couldn't see a released version on the App Store or anything, so yeah. Pico Tanks by Panda Arcade weirdly wasn't supported by my phone. I don't know why that is. I didn't have a lot of time to look deeper into it. Soaring Lions by Imaginary Empire Games. That that looks hilarious. It's like you're wrestlers. It's a board game where you're wrestlers. So again, with a physical game, we didn't have the ability to get a copy of that just yet. Starport Delta by Cloudfire Studios, which is available on Steam. Upkeep by Game Time Again, another physical game that we didn't manage to get a physical copy of. Those were the ones we haven't played, but well done to them for getting onto the finalist list. Let's rattle off a quick review for each of the finalists that we did manage to play. So the first one of those you played last night, James, so this didn't happen on the stream. It was Keep Driving by Connor, Jesse, Jordon and Sam from Yoobee College. What did you think of Keep Driving?
Simple, stressful.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell as soon as I saw the demo of this at the exhibition, I was like, I'm not playing that. It looks hilarious. I could watch people play it and laugh.
You did watch and laugh.
I did watch and laugh, but there's no way you're going to catch me playing it. So yeah, you are driving like a futuristic car.
But it's like a 1980s futuristic. It's all very
it's like
80s aesthetic.
Cyberpunk 80s aesthetic. Driving this car, but there's a virus in your car's computer, and so pop-ups keep popping up on your window, and you have to shut them off, but you're also not allowed to stop driving. So
while you're speeding past other cars, zipping from lane to lane, trying not to hit anything.
This was a student piece, and well done. A very funny,
very simple game.
Yeah,
but it felt like Temple Run was actually what I thought of.
Good
it's that sort of idea
comparison.
of just see how far you can get.
Nice.
Until you crash, and you're going to crash and die. But that's okay. It was fun. I liked it.
Last Message by JamesGames. James, what did you think of Last Message by JamesGames?
I didn't find this one to my taste.
Yeah? What is that?
So, this is a game set in a zombie apocalypse in the Hutt Valley, which I did like.
Yeah, I like that.
I always like it whenever New Zealand shows up. We're terrible for that, aren't we, as a country? Every time New Zealand shows up, we go,
we do.
Anyway, you play a survivor who sits on her computer and deals with relationships with other people through messaging them. And so there's a lot of exposition, there's a lot of dialogue in it. So I played it for a while. There didn't seem to be much beyond that, though I think this was a playable demo, and so some of the shots that were on the Steam page implied that there was more to the game, or that there would be more to the game. And it's just at this point, this was what they had as their sort of
Snapshot.
Proof of concept.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
like this is the idea that we want to explore.
Okay.
Yeah. So just of what was there at the moment, I wasn't a huge fan.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Moving on. Longhouse by Gendly Games. What did you think of that one? That was a sort of RTS. Right?
Yeah, I liked Longhouse. RTSs take me back to my old Warcraft days. And it's a very nice, visually appealing one. It's actually, it looks like an RTS. I thought it was an RTS going in, but actually it's more of a tower defense game. So you have got a little sort of Nordic village on a floating island in the sky. And you have to train up your people to go and cut down the woods and tend the fields and grow food.
Classic
so that you
RTS
can
stuff,
get
right?
more resources,
Yeah.
so that you can build the towers.
Right.
And waves of enemies show up. I got really frustrated with this one until I realised that I'd forgot to click end on the tutorial, so it wasn't letting the next thing happen because it was waiting for me to be finished. Very politely.
Okay.
But once that was done, actually everything ticked along very quickly. Yeah, there's a range of different towers that you can build. The towers can all attack things that are a certain radius away, but they can't attack things that are close to them. You can also build barracks, which are good for fighting people who are up close but not far away. There's different types of enemy troops that show up, and so you need to prioritise where you're going to put your people and what resources you're going to get. And it just felt like a really clean, simple, classic tower defense RTS.
To me, visually, it looked really nice in terms of like the UI just sort of had a very pleasant look to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my question would be like, how much more do you think you'd get out of this game?
It didn't look like there was a lot of depth to it past what I played.
Okay. I might give it a go.
Yeah. It was cute. It was nice. To me, it looked like, okay, you've created one cool level. If you came up with another sort of 12 levels with varying the challenges and the what's going on and put in some more stuff, you would have a competitor to any other RTS.
Right.
When you get down to it, for a small studio in New Zealand, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good place to be in. Yeah. Nice game.
So the next one on the list is Neocense by Tired Tortoise Tribe. So we both played a little bit of this one, and that was the one with the protagonist in the wheelchair. Visually sumptuous. I really like the sort of glowing colours, and
it was a really nice puzzle game. You have two different worlds that you can travel between, and so there'd be a lot of things you've got to manipulate things in one world so that you can then do something in the other world to be able to complete the challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, the challenges were all very well put together.
Oh, that's good.
The representation with being a protagonist in a wheelchair was cool. I like that. That was nice. You had a little steampunk one. You had a little spout on the back and you're letting off steam. There was also a tea theme all the way through, which was cute and slightly surreal. There'd be floating teapots.
Oh. See, I was getting real, Bastion vibes off of it, but that might have just been in terms of, the isometric nature of it. I don't know if that had any influence over the creators.
I did find the narrative around the puzzles was a little underdeveloped, and I think that the sort of all the labour of love had been poured into making the puzzles rather than the story and the world around it. You could there was one, clearly, but I don't think it was as well communicated as it could have been. Right.
I also noticed a few issues that need a little bit more QA, such as text jutting over other text.
Yeah, there were times you select your text, your option of dialogue, and it didn't seem like it was actually much of a choice, and it would sort of circle around on itself.
Right.
Or you'd select the line of dialogue, but the line that you'd select would actually be about 3 lines long, so it looked like you had multiple lines. It just wasn't very clear.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I've actually noticed this pattern in a few games in this collection of I don't think there's any point in giving players a choice between 2 options of dialogue that are just going to steer them down the same path anyway. Unless there is some hidden mechanic, like Paragon Renegade going on.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately in any pick-a-path style narrative, everything does have to meet back up again, because otherwise it just expands out infinitely.
Yeah. But presenting false choice is not choice. It's like I said last week, fake representation isn't representation.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not saying that this necessarily is every choice in this game.
That said, the puzzles were really cool. The look was wonderful.
Yeah, I want to play the puzzles, definitely.
Yeah.
And just visually, I found this one a real joy. Radical Relocation by Winglett Entertainment. James, you played this one more than me.
I did. I found this one almost a classic.
Oh.
So this has got a really hilarious premise. So what it is that you are moving house. And so you're moving from one house to another one. And every level is, it's a puzzle game. And so every level you're trying to get a little bit further away and there'll be potholes or whatever. And you're trying to get there in as short as time as possible. The thing is, you're trying to move house, but you don't have a trailer or a moving van or anything. And so you'll just have all your stuff out on the street, and you've just got to stack it all onto your car, on top of your car, and then drive to your new house without anything falling off.
Hilarious. Yeah. And I remember the trailer for this at the exhibition. We just stopped and we were watching it. We were like, this looks fun.
Yeah.
But.
And so stacking stuff was fun. It was actually really fun trying to think about oh god, if I put my couch here, I can sort of nestle the vases in it so they don't go flying off the back, and then I'll stack the piano on top. And look, you're going to fail and everything is going to come flying off, and you're probably also going to drive into things and knock down trees on the way and crash into sheer cliff faces or get hit by a train or any number of things. And frankly, that's kind of hilarious. Another thing that's really fun with the game is because it's timed, the game encourages you to not take the roads. Often the best route to get from A to B is to go off-road, drive through a forest, maybe take out a tree or two on the way, and that's fun.
Right.
What I did find problematic, though, is the fun of the game, really. It's like Jenga. You play Jenga because you're waiting for that moment when the tower's going to fall. And so when you're stacking up all of your things and you're stacking that piano on top, you're going, oh, this is never going to work. And of course it won't, and it will fall over, and everything will crash. And that's the fun thing, that the game immediately ends and tells you to restart the second that anything comes off. And so it's kind of penalising you for doing the most enjoyable thing.
Oh, that's a pity.
And I felt like it would have been really fun if instead there was like a rating that you could get.
Right.
Like if you got everything there and it was all fine and you got a gold star, but if you broke a vase on the way, well, you know, you still got there, but you only get a silver star. And if you crashed the car and died in a fire, then you get nothing. And you'd just be trying to play again to get a higher... There's already the mechanic for how quickly can you get there. The other thing is you could always have, when everything falls off, you've got to restack it as fast as possible to keep going, which is something else you could have done.
Or also hidden achievements for, like, you know, dropped a piano in a swimming pool or something, you know. And then if you unlocked that, you'd probably, I imagine you'd be playing this with friends and it would be a hilarious moment of like, they made an achievement for that, you know.
But what I found is because you fail the second that anything falls off your car, the way I was driving to win was very, very, very slowly.
Which isn't fun.
And it would be much more fun if I'd gone, oh god, I've only got 5 seconds to get to the new house, go! Oh, we lost the piano, oh well.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So, almost a really fun party game.
Right.
Almost an absolute Stone Cold classic. But just not quite there.
Yeah. The next game, alphabetically on my list, is Road to Nowhere by 15-Bit Games. Now, this is just a demo that you were trying, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the first thing I was struck by with this game is all of the visuals for this game, they've taken actual video recordings and then heavily distorted or edited them. And so it makes the game look completely different and unique. They even, when they have the actors moving around, they had them standing like they were actors, like they were characters in a video game. So they stand really still when they weren't delivering dialogue or you weren't interacting with them. And then when they moved like they were characters in the video game. And so at times I thought it looked absolutely beautiful and distinct and like nothing else I'd seen. And there were times where I felt it looked really cheap.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah. It's hard. There's like an uncanny valleyness to it, I think.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. This was a game about a man whose partner has just broken up with him, who's made allegations of abuse against him, and his life is falling apart around him. I didn't get to any of the details with it. What I found as I played was there wasn't a lot of choice that I got to make.
It was sort of like, this is a story they want to tell and they're telling it.
Yeah, rather than one where you get to tell the stories and they've given you all the tools. They're like, this is your story. Yeah. So what was there? Like, the dialogue was really good. The voice acting was really good.
Yeah.
But I wish there was a little bit more for me to do with it.
Right.
Because a lot of the time I felt like I was just being a spectator.
Yeah. Like, could this have been a TV show or a movie instead of a game?
Or could they have found a way to gamify it slightly more?
Right.
And even eventually I got to the point where I was able to start exploring locations and interacting with things. And the game told me, interact with everything. You don't know what will happen when you interact with things.
Okay.
But most of the time what happened when I interacted with things was my character went, that's not interesting right now. That's not important right now.
Oh.
And so it was... And it was because it was everything that didn't serve the narrative that they were telling, basically.
Okay.
I also found it somewhat amusing. The game is set in California and then on Route 66, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of the visuals that they have weren't actually in the USA, and that they'd just taken local video and then edited it and augmented it with the colours choice that they've used to try and sort of make it be USA.
Okay.
Which is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's more sort of a cute observation rather than anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we both really enjoyed Squiggle Drop by
Squiggle Drop was fantastic.
Aaron Neugebauer. I have no idea if I said that right. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Squiggle Drop was fantastic and we really liked it.
Yep.
It's on our phones still.
Yep. So Squiggle Drop is just a really simple little phone game. All it is every level it gives you a little puzzle that you've got to try and do. Open the door.
Drop a squiggle. You make a squiggle and you drop the squiggle.
You draw a little squiggle with your finger, it drops down.
And
it
maybe it
falls
solves that
however
puzzle.
gravity works.
Yeah.
Maybe it solves the puzzle, maybe it doesn't. Probably what happens is it doesn't.
And then you refine your technique.
And you see how your thing dropped, and you go, okay, so I need something that's more like this. And then it's actually quite scientific when you think about it, because it's all about gravity and weight and mass. And you going, that didn't work. What if I try a different iteration of this idea? Or super simple, super accessible. It's quite imaginative too, actually, in terms of like what it's getting you to do. And I know there were some challenges where later on we compared notes and we found that we'd done completely different things to solve them.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah. Lovely music, I found. And yeah, you're right, pretty accessible. All you need is eyes, well, maybe just one eye and a finger to play this.
Yep. And even then,
Yeah.
Yep. Just nice, simple, straightforward game. Of all the games on the list, this is the one that I'd say, just download it onto your phone.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free.
Just
you can get an ad-free version if you pay. But yeah, I thought it was just a lovely.
Yeah, just a nice little game.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Very fun, very colourful. All right, the next one on my list is Sue's Story by Incendio Software, a solo dev house.
So Sue's Story was, first of all, I've got to say, it's not my sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a horror game, right?
This is, you could tell just from all the atmosphere and the music and, so much atmosphere, that this was a horror game that at some point later on, I was going to wind up having my face eaten by ugly, squicky aliens. I didn't get up to those because there were also giant laser walls that
bisected you.
Lasered me.
Oh no.
And so that was pretty... That said, the fact that I don't like this genre doesn't change the fact that I could tell that this was a really good game. The controls were really simple and intuitive. Nice. I liked that every time it told me a new objective to do, it gave me a little visual sign about where to go. So every time I felt like, I have no idea what I've got to do that, I'd then go, look, there's a little thing. I need to go that way. I need to go over here. I need to... And I appreciated that. It's good. The game looked amazing. Like I said, super atmospheric, dark, moody, gothic, industrial nightmare spaceship. Like I said, very alien. Atmospheric music. I found a light, so I was running around in the darkness with a flashlight. Very atmospheric. I could tell that there was a story going on, but that it was also sort of up to me how much of it I wanted to take in.
Okay.
So there were computers I could go to and I could read through all the logs and get the full backstory. Or I could just kind of skim read it and go, okay, this is the basics. I'm, Sue running around the spaceship because my cryo-freeze malfunctioned and now I've got to deal with everything that's going wrong. Why is it going wrong? Probably aliens.
Oh, God.
Didn't get that far. That's just my guess. It looked like there was a fair bit to do in the game too. I don't know how long it was. And when we went on the Steam page, it turned out that this is actually a sort of spin-off or a side story to another game that they'd already done. And the fact that this is a single developer studio, super impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Full 3D game.
Yeah.
Immersive and, well done.
Very impressive.
The next one on my list is Under a Star Called Sun by Cecile Richard, and this is one that I played by myself just while setting up the stream, and it is a Bitsy game, which if you were sort of following me last year, you'll know that I took part in the Bitsy Jams for 12 months in a row, telling a 12-chapter story. So I had like a personal connection to this of like, I could tell exactly how much of a challenge this would have been to put together. It was a lovely little story that, depending on your reading speed, will take you like 5-10 minutes to complete. But in terms of like beautiful design, well, okay, for one, with Bitsy, it's all little pixelated art. It's very beautiful given those parameters. As someone who was, doing Bitsy games all of last year, I know that it can be a little bit of a challenge. So I was pretty impressed by what I found in Under a Star Called Sun. The writing was very poetic and reflective. There wasn't much game there. It was sort of just walk and hear the next part of the story, which a lot of Bitsy games are.
I don't think that's the worst thing for a Bitsy game.
No. It's what a lot of Bitsy games are. But this one had some hallmarks of beautiful design that I appreciated, such as, so you were going through a spaceship, and when you needed to go from room to room, but it would lead you back to the same hallway, but the next time the hallway, a different path would be highlighted.
Right.
So it just very simply visually directed you to where you needed to go next in order to hear the story.
Would have been very easy to get lost otherwise, I imagine.
Yeah. So I just thought it was very well designed, given how I personally have gone through the challenges of using Bitsy as a developer. I understood this one quite well, and I really appreciated the care that had gone into the design of this one. So well done to Cecile, Richard. I enjoyed that. And yeah, you can play that one completely for free on itch.io, so go enjoy. And the final game on our list tonight is Watch This Space by It's Anecdotal, who was one of the speakers, Philip Buchanan, one of the speakers at Play by Play. Watch This Space was the sort of party game, puzzle game one, shooting asteroids and stuff, James?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You played this more than me, again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
It wasn't your sort of thing.
It wasn't my sort of thing. This was like I said, it was like a party game. So you'd have multiple rounds. You had 10 rounds, each of which had a different little mini challenge. But each of the mini challenges felt more like a project that you might do in programming school.
Sure.
Just to prove that you can do things. So very simple, sort of shoot the asteroids.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders, Snake.
Although I thought the take on Snake was clever because it was dual Snake. I've never seen...
Dueling Snake.
Yeah, I've never seen dueling Snake before.
Yeah.
PvP Snake. Where you can, block your opponent. That was pretty cool.
Everybody had a little mini power that they could do too.
I thought that was a good piece of design. And that's nice for a party game where, your different characters get different things. So, you were Medusa, right? So you could freeze
I could
people.
turn things to stone very, very briefly.
Yeah.
The graphics were very simple in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a very simple colour palette and... Yeah, wasn't your sort of thing. But yeah, it could be a fun party game, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, for the parties we go to, it tends to be Jackbox is what gets played.
Yeah.
Would this get chosen over Jackbox? I'm not sure that it would without extra controls, because you were playing on keyboard.
Yeah. So the problem, I think, for me is just, yes, this is a single developer who's making this party game, but that doesn't change the fact that at any party, I would be choosing whether to play this or Mario Kart.
Sure.
And yes, it's unfair to compare them, but at the same time, they're both party games that want me to play them at a party, and one of them just happens to have millions of extra hours and dollars spent on it. There's no way that this can ever match up to those sorts of party games. But that means there's no way that I'd pick it to play at a party over them. It's a sad comparison, but...
Well, yeah, it would have to be a very specific party as well.
Yeah.
A party of people who are into doing puzzle games. Because, you need to master several different skills to do this.
Yeah, you've got to master different games, and you've got to master them very quickly because it constantly goes bang, bang, bang from one game to the next.
Very simple instructions, though. I will give it that.
Yep. It gets you in and playing immediately, and you've got no time to get bored, because as soon as you're done with one thing, boom, you're onto something completely new, and that's cool.
It would probably be a bit of a problem, though, for colourblind people.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, because the only thing you've got indicating... I think you've got a different symbol for your little player head, but for the your asteroids that are your colour, and if you're only supposed to destroy the asteroids of your colour, how are you going to know that if you're colourblind? I don't know, maybe there's a patterning option... I know that, when we work with Julia from Cheeky Parrot Games, she always tries to put patterning into her pieces. So
that this isn't a problem.
Yeah. So that, if most people will go, oh, I'll be blue player or I'll be red player, but the colourblind person will see, right, blue has, polka dots in the background and red has a grid and yellow has flowers, whatever. So, there's always a pattern that they might be able to see.
So, those were the games.
Yeah.
All in all, is a really impressive field. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of cool little indie stuff going on.
Yeah.
And we thoroughly recommend that people give it a shot and try some of these ones out.
Hopefully we can see a lot more coming out of New Zealand in the future. I know that in Australia they just did some sort of tax incentive thing for Australian game devs, which is really cool. I don't know if we can sort of sway our government to do anything like that, but I know that the NZ Game Developer Association is trying. That's the union that I'm a member of. Yeah.
I'm keen to go back next year. I'm keen for me to take part in it next year. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, see see how it all goes. We'll have to have something to submit to it for next time.
Quite possibly role-playing games would be eligible for the physical game category,
Yeah.
so I might enter Her Gentle Highness.
Yep.
Who knows?
We'll see how I go. I feel like I might not get the Tyrrhenia Kickstarter out this year. We'll see what happens. Having a child takes a lot of time.
Having a toddler seems to take more time than having a baby, even.
Yeah.
Anyway, time for me to go and recover my voice. Thank you for taking most of the leading in this episode, James.
Thank you for having the list of what the games were.
Have we got any plugs for this week? Oh, yeah. I have started up a Pokemon time capsule blog because I found a bunch of stuff from when I was 10, which is not just toys and stickers and posters and books and stuff. It is also my handwritten and hand-drawn episode guide full of synopses that I would write down. This is 10-year-old Claire writing this down immediately after watching the episode, drawing terrible drawings from memory of what happened. So I break that down. And then, so I remember telling James about this ages ago. I was like, oh yeah, I used to write a Pokemon fan fiction comic. I probably wrote, I don't know, like 5-10 episodes. I should try and find that sometime. I finally got into my mum's basement and found it. There's over 100 pages of this fan fiction comic.
Damn.
So, actually, starting last week, I updated every Monday. I put up episodes of that. It's pretty bad, but I'm getting a nostalgia kick out of it, and I think other people will too, which is why I'm going to that effort. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that. Come and see what crazy Pokemon a 10-year-old from the year 2000 comes up with. It's fun.
Well, I think that's us for this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment, reflect, and keep gaming.
Bye.